Seek the divine with your whole heart. 7 days to supernatural revelation and answered prayers in the heart of a quaint English village, where cobblestone paths wound through time-worn homes. Desperation loomed over Sarah like a winter chill. Her precious son, Liam, had just been diagnosed with a rare illness that robbed her of sleep and peace. Outside, the villagers moved with their customary pragmatism, dismissing miracles as tales fit for children. But for Sarah, miracles were the only threads of hope she clung to. Each day of her 7-day prayer journey began with a spark of intention. She lit candles in remembrance of her family, their flickering flames bathing the room in a divine glow that made her heart ache with warmth. "Dear St. Jude, patron of lost causes," she whispered, "intercede for us." The air around her thickened with a mixture of hope and worry as she held Liam's tiny hand, praying for a miracle to lift them from despair. On the second day, as the sun rose, a peculiar sound filled the room, soft chirping, almost melodious. Upon stepping outside, she gasped. A flock of doves descended from the heavens, spiraling above her, showering the village in bright feathers that swirled like confetti. The villagers paused, casting skeptical glances her way, their mouths twisted in curious disbelief. Yet, somehow, the sight stoked a flicker of faith within. Could divine intervention truly be coming? By the third day, despair tightened its grip when Liam's condition deteriorated. Sarah's heart raced as she rushed him to the village doctor. She felt her very soul stretching thin, filled with fear at the thought of losing her boy. Alone, she attended a church service, listening as the pastor's booming voice spoke of unyielding faith amidst trials. "Hold fast, for miracles happen in the quiet moments of prayer," he declared. An unexpected warmth surged through her, igniting her resolve to stand tall against doubt. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. Inspired, she returned home. Her heart emboldened with hope, she rallied the village around her. "Join me for a prayer vigil," she urged her neighbors. Initially met with disbelief, eventually, hands clasped together across the village green, their voices rose into the dusky sky, creating a tapestry of faith that broke the silence of doubt. As the vigil deepened into the evening, an electric energy crackled in the air. Whispers of faith turned into more profound murmurs of conviction. Yet, as they prayed, shadows of doubt coiled within Sarah, pushing against her faith. Was she merely clutching at straws? Would her efforts yield nothing? On the dawn of the 7th day, she sensed the weight of anticipation thick in the air. Hope and skepticism knitted together, eyes glancing from furrowed brows to hopeful prayers. And just as the sun pierced through the gray clouds, illuminating the village, it was as if the heavens opened. Liam stirred, a sigh escaping his lips, a sign of life. The villagers gasped, whispers growing into gasps of joy and wonder. But in that moment, as Sarah knelt in gratitude, she wrestled with the enormity of this miracle. Had her faith truly summoned divine grace, or was it mere coincidence? And as she sought confirmation, a sudden sound interrupted her thoughts, freezing her breath. The stillness hung heavy. What awaited behind this beautiful, chaotic divine tapestry? Would their miracle endure, or would uncertainty shroud it once more? The heart of Sarah and the very essence of faith stood at an incredible crossroads, the unfolding journey lying before them, shimmering with both hope and mystery. In that charged moment, where hope and doubt danced dangerously close, Sarah raised her gaze. The villagers remained in a hushed reverence, their eyes glued to the small figure lying in the sunlight. She felt warmth envelop her, a softness sweeping through her heart. Had God truly heard their prayers? "Liam," she whispered, the name on her lips a prayer itself. He blinked and looked around, his gaze wide and innocent, as if wondering why everyone stared. Relief surged through her, mingled with a flicker of uncertainty. Was his awakening a sign, a promise of divine healing, or merely a fleeting moment before another storm of despair? Suddenly, a gentle breeze stirred the leaves of the old oak tree nearby, rustling like a whispering choir of angels. Sarah stepped closer, feeling the cool earth beneath her feet, steadying herself with each stride. The village, once bound by disbelief, held its breath. Mothers wiped away tears, fathers exchanged hopeful glances, and children wiggled in anticipation, sensing the significance of the rare moment unfolding. "Let us pray," Sarah said suddenly, her heart swelling with newfound determination. She held out her hands, and one by one, the villagers joined her in a circle. Together, they formed a living tapestry of faith, each thread unique yet intertwined by purpose. As they knelt in the grass, the world around them faded, leaving only the sound of their united voices ringing through the air. "Lord, we come before you, our hearts heavy with uncertainty yet filled with the glimmers of hope. We pray for Liam's health, for strength, and for a miracle that will banish all fear," she cried, voice trembling but steady. As words poured forth, she felt a surge of energy, an invisible current drawing on the hearts of the village. As the final amen echoed softly, Liam's small voice broke through the quiet. "Mummy? I feel different." He sat up, rubbing his eyes, confusion giving way to a smile. Joy erupted around him, as hands clapped and laughter rang into the air like joyful bells, filling every corner of the sacred moment. But amidst the celebration, Sarah felt a tug at her heart, a mix of joy and fear. What if this was a mere flicker in the dark, a momentary glimpse of light before the tide turned again? She cast a glance toward the dusty path that led to the doctor's office, anxiety gripping her. Then a wise elderly villager, known for his contemplative nature, approached her. "Faith is not merely the absence of doubt, my dear. It is holding on to hope while walking through the shadows. God may be showing us something more, something deeper than we can see." His soft words wrapped around her like a warm blanket, momentarily easing her fears. As twilight began to blanket the village, the golden hues shifting to shades of indigo, Sarah gazed into the horizon. She sensed a presence beyond what her eyes could see, a profound, everlasting love that seemed to whisper secrets meant just for her. She understood that this was only the beginning. The days ahead loomed heavy with uncertainty, yet she felt a flicker of conviction warming her heart. The journey had only begun, and they would not face it alone. What awaited them as they continued to seek the divine? Would the promise of healing counter the weight of struggle? What further revelations would the days ahead unfold? Each question lingered, a gentle nudge to remain steadfast in faith whatever it might bring. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the village, Sarah found herself lost in thought. The laughter of the villagers echoed around her, but deep down, a quiet tension simmered. She watched Liam play with the other children, his smile radiant against the backdrop of her concerns. Just days before, his life hung by a thread. Now, his spirit danced like a feather in the wind. But how fragile was this newfound life? Sarah's heart flickered with hope, yet fear lingered like a shadow on the walls of her mind. "Are you okay, Sarah?" called out Mary, a close friend whose face was flushed with joy. "Look at him. He's back with us." Sarah forced a smile, but felt the weight of her thoughts pressing down. "I am Mary the first," just her voice faltered, and she shook her head. "Remember what the elder said. Faith holds us through this," Mary replied gently, placing a hand on her shoulder. Moments later, amid the festivities, Sarah felt a gentle tug at her heart, an urge to seek solitude. She needed a quiet place to lay her thoughts bare before God. Descending a narrow path leading away from the village, she found a small clearing bordered by whispering trees. The cool earth hugged her as she knelt down. The fading light turned the sky into a canvas of purple and gold, and she took a deep breath, focusing internally. This was a sacred space, a meeting point of the earthly and divine. "God," she murmured, tears threatening to spill. I am so grateful for Liam's return. But I need to understand, what are you trying to teach us? Is this just the beginning of a miracle, or are we to face more trials? As she spoke, the breeze picked up, rustling the leaves and creating a symphony that seemed to echo her words. In that instant, she felt a warm embrace wrapping around her, a divine assurance easing her troubled spirit. Suddenly, a thought flickered in her mind, a doubt that relentlessly clawed at the edge of her faith. What if God didn't heal Liam completely? What if this was just a temporary reprieve? Conflicted, she pressed her palms to her heart and breathed. Was she having faith or simply hoping for comfort? As she sat in silence, listening to the gentle rustling, she heard a whisper in her spirit, soft but profound. Wonderfully and fearfully made the words floated through her mind, echoing the scriptures she had cherished. Isn't that what it had always been about? The truth that they were known, cherished, and held in the hands of a loving Creator? Tears spilled down her cheeks. In the midst of her uncertainty, that truth anchored her. God had plans beyond her understanding. A sudden movement caught her eye. She turned to see a small bird perched on a branch, looking at her as if it shared in her revelation. It chirped a lively tune, fluttering from branch to branch, bringing joy into the twilight. She smiled, realizing that nature was alive with the spirit too, affirming her prayerful thoughts. As she made her way back to the village, a sense of hope began to bloom within her. Yes, challenges could come, but they had been brought through the darkness once. Surely, God would lead them again. But with every step she took, a question lingered in her heart. What was God preparing them for next? Was there more to come, more to be revealed? As she entered the circle of joyful faces, she held on to the belief that they were on the cusp of something extraordinary, waiting for the next whisper of divine direction. The celebrations continued, their joyful chorus wrapping around Sarah as she returned to the gathering. Children ran past her, their laughter ringing like bells, while adults shared stories, their faces aglow with merriment. Yet, Sarah felt a deeper calling pulling her toward another realm, one that lay just beyond sight. The warmth of the evening bathed her in peace, yet the whisper of uncertainty clung to her thoughts. As she stepped back into the circle of her friends, her heart remained tethered to that sacred clearing. She could still feel the embrace of God, the calling within her spirit, as if the divine was slowly orchestrating a tapestry of events that was yet to unfold. Sarah. Mary waved her over. You have to hear this. Old Jacob just shared a vision he received during his prayer time. Curiosity piqued. Sarah approached, finding a group gathered around Jacob, a man revered for his wisdom. In his worn hands, he gestured animatedly, a fire lighting his eyes. I saw a path stretching into the future, he began, his voice steady and assured. It was lined with stones of various shapes and sizes. Each stone represented a faith milestone, each one anchoring us to our God through trials and triumphs. As he spoke, a wave of understanding washed over Sarah. Perhaps this was what she sensed, a journey where every step mattered, shaping their destinies and leading them closer to God's heart. And as I walked that path, Jacob continued, I encountered trials represented by storms. Yet, the stones glowed during the darkness, lighting the way by calling on our faith to guide us. This is a reminder that every challenge we face is not in vain, but a part of a greater purpose. His words were like the gentle rustling of leaves in the wind, striking a chord deep within her. Do you see? He asked aloud, eyes scanning the crowd. We are not alone. God goes before us. His light shines even when the storms of life ravage around us. Excitement ignited the gathering, glances exchanged, fervent nodding, and sharing of hope. In that moment, among the warm glow and laughter, Sarah felt a sense of unity with her community, her fears slowly melting away. They were an intertwined tapestry, each thread holding significance. Sometimes we need to be reminded that the storms come and go, Mary whispered to Sarah, who nodded, newly inspired. But it's our faith that carries us through, even if we can't see the other side. In that instant, A soft glow flickered to life in the far corner of Sarah's perception. It felt as if the veil between heaven and earth grew thin, a surge of energy pulsating alongside her heartbeat. God, show me more, she whispered, feeling a strange pull within her, an invitation to deepen her understanding, to embrace whatever was ahead. The air shifted, charged with expectation. She understood now that uncertainties were not barriers. Rather, they were bridges toward deeper revelations. The gathering continued, but Sarah's mind and heart were entranced by the tranquility of possibility. Together, we will walk this path, she thought, firm in her resolve, encouragement lighting the way ahead. But as night deepened and the stars twinkled above, a new question fluttered through her mind, echoing more loudly than the earlier doubts. What specific trials lay ahead? And what treasures of faith would God reveal from the unseen depths of her heart? With every beat of her heart, the divine mystery unfolded before her, waiting for her to take the next step. As the stars began to blink at the sky, Sarah felt her feet still, anchored to the earth beneath her. She closed her eyes, drawing in a deep breath. The celebrations around her faded into the background, replaced by a profound stillness that beckoned her to really listen to the whispers of her heart. God, what do you want me to see? What is this path you have laid before me? She prayed inwardly, the words flowing like a river from her spirit. With each heartbeat, she felt an increasing urgency to seek the answers hidden within her soul, to unravel the divine mystery that seemed so close yet remained elusive. The gentle murmur of the gathering created a holy ambience, laughter and music mingling with the cool evening air. Yet, within that joy, she felt an undercurrent of longing and invitation to delve beneath the surface. Perhaps the trials Jacob spoke of were not merely for him to bear, but were also part of her own journey. Feeling a pull stronger than before, Sarah turned away from the crowd and walked toward the edge of the festival. There, in the quiet embrace of the trees, she could hear her heartbeat sync with the rustling of the leaves, a soft melody echoing the song of creation. "Is this where you want me, Lord?" she murmured, and as if in response, a gentle breeze swirled around her, cradling her in its tender warmth. In that moment, a spark ignited in her spirit, a realization that she was not merely observing life. She was a participant in the unfolding of God's plan. With renewed determination, she pressed a hand against the rough bark of a nearby tree, a symbolic gesture of grounding herself in faith. "Let me be your light, even through the storm," she whispered. A pair of soft footsteps interrupted her thoughts. It was Mary, her ever-supportive friend, who approached with a knowing smile. "You looked deep in thought," she said, settling beside Sarah, her voice a comforting balm. "I felt something, a deeper calling," Sarah replied, her eyes sparkling with a mixture of awe and trepidation. "I want to understand what God is guiding me toward." "Sometimes the path becomes clearer in silence," Mary suggested, glancing up to the stars twinkling like divine promises. "But it requires a heart fully open, willing to embrace the unknown." Sarah nodded, the weight of her friend's words sinking in. "What if those storms Jacob spoke about are closer than I imagined? What if I must face them to uncover greater faith?" Mary's gaze softened. "Every storm prepares us. It refines us, shapes us for God's purpose. We often miss the beauty of the lessons because we fear the pain." Just then, a shooting star streaked across the sky, a brief flare of light that danced into the darkness. Sarah gasped, feeling as if heaven itself was affirming their conversation. "Did you see that?" she exclaimed, hope rising within her. Yet, uncertainty still lingered like a shadow. "If I am to embrace these trials, how do I know I am strong enough?" "You will never know until you take that step," Mary stated gently. "Remember, God does not call the equipped. He equips the called. Trust in His strength." With her heart racing, Sarah felt the truth unfold deep within her. The night was still young, and the mysteries yet to reveal themselves were painting a path into her future. The excitement mixed with fear, as she realized that each challenge was a golden opportunity to deepen her walk with the Lord. "What will my trials look like?" She pondered aloud, the question lingering in the air like a prayer. How will I become the person God envisions? As they shared in this sacred moment, Sarah felt the stirrings of a journey ahead. The next step loomed just beyond her sight, cloaked in divine mystery. She took a deep breath, a prayer of trust hovering on her lips. What treasures of faith might she discover through the trials waiting for her just around the bend? And would she have the courage to face them head-on? As the soft rustle of the leaves swirled around them, Sarah felt a sense of calm wash over her. The vibrant festival noises faded beyond the perimeter of the trees, and a sacred hush enveloped her. With Mary by her side, she sensed a profound connection with the Creator, one that transcended the ordinary, pulling her into the extraordinary depths of His presence. "Do you ever wonder what it would be like?" Sarah asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "What if we truly embraced everything God has for us?" Mary tilted her head, contemplating the question. Embracing Him fully means trusting Him with every part of ourselves, our hopes, fears, doubts, and dreams. It's a leap of faith into the unknown. Their eyes met, and in that moment, an understanding flickered between them. They both understood that faith required action. It was not enough to stand back and dream. They would have to step into life as challenges, hand in hand with God. What if the trials Jacob spoke of are just the beginning? Sarah continued, a hint of urgency in her voice. What if they are not meant to lead us away from Him, but straight into His arms? With God, trials become testimonies, Mary replied, her voice as soothing as the breeze around them. Every struggle you face is shaping you into the woman He created you to be. It's a forge for your faith. Sarah closed her eyes, and a vision danced behind her lids, a vision of mountains and valleys, of storms raging, but of her standing firm. She saw herself seeking God's face amidst the chaos, her heart tethered to His unfailing love. Could it be that all of this is not just for us? That our journey could inspire others? She pondered aloud, her heart beating steadily with conviction. Mary smiled knowingly. That's the beauty of it. When you rise above your struggles, you empower others to rise with you. Your faith can ignite hope in those who feel lost. A thrill surged within Sarah at the thought. What if her journey was not merely her own? What if it reached out to others, lighting the path for them too? "I want to be brave," she whispered, a fervor building inside her. "I want my faith to move mountains, not just in my life, but in the lives of those around me." Suddenly, the night sky lit up with another shooting star, illuminating the darkness for a fleeting moment. It felt like a personal message just for Sarah, a divine nod from heaven. It was time to begin the adventure. As the star faded away, so did her lingering doubts. "I think I'm ready," she said quietly, determination gleaming in her eyes. Ready to take that leap of faith. To face the trials, grow through them, and become the light He wants me to be. Mary reached for Sarah's hand, squeezing it gently. "You are never alone in this. Every step you take is a step He'll walk with you. Just remember, the journey will unveil who you truly are." Sarah's heart swelled with gratitude. She felt stronger already, emboldened by the possible adventures and divine lessons ahead. Her spirit felt lighter, filled with hope and anticipation. But just then, Mary's expression changed, her brow furrowed. "Wait, what if the trials mean we'll have to confront the very things we fear the most?" Sarah's heart skipped a beat. "What if I want to be strong enough?" Mary nodded slowly. "That's the secret of faith. Strength doesn't come from within us. It comes from our connection to God. When we feel weak, that's when He shines brightest." As they sat in contemplative silence, the truth of those words settled in Sarah's heart. The path ahead was unclear, painted with both shadows and light, joy and pain. "Lord, guide my steps," she prayed softly. "Show me the way." The stars twinkled above, each one like a promise shining down upon them. Sarah and Mary stood, filled with anticipation, ready to embark on the journey ahead, a journey that could shape their faith and impact others profoundly. Could they uncover the true meaning of courage in the trials awaiting them? Would they become the women God envisioned, illuminating the path for others as they walked in faith. As dawn broke over the horizon, a soft golden light spilled through the leaves, washing the world in a warmth that felt almost sacred. Sarah and Mary stood at the edge of the grove, the stillness of early morning filling their lungs with fresh hope. The festival, once a distant memory, now felt like a beacon guiding them toward a greater purpose. "Today feels different," Sarah said, her eyes shimmering with excitement. "It's like the world is waiting for something to happen." Mary nodded, a smile spreading across her face. "It's true. Every new day is a chance for God to reveal himself in unexpected ways. Maybe today, he wants to teach us something important." With that, they made their way down the path that led away from the festival, deeper into the woods. As they walked, they whispered prayers, expressing their hopes and fears. It was a sacred sharing, binding their hearts in unity and trust. Suddenly, Sarah stopped. "What do you think it means to truly embrace God's calling in our lives?" Mary paused, pondering. "I believe it means actively listening and being open to his direction, even when it's uncomfortable. We can't steer this ship alone. We need to let him take the helm." "But what if we don't like where he is leading us?" Sarah asked, a tremor of concern in her voice. Mary turned to her, her expression gentle yet firm. "That's part of faith, isn't it? It's trusting that he sees the bigger picture, even when our perspective is limited. Our comfort doesn't shape our calling, his purpose does." As they resumed walking, a gust of wind surged around them, rustling branches and sending leaves dancing through the air. Sarah felt a nudge in her spirit, a reminder that their conversation was more than words. It was a surrender. "How do we prepare for the trials ahead?" Sarah questioned, her heart pounding with anticipation. Mary took a deep breath. "We prepare by cultivating a heart of worship. It shifts our focus from our anxieties to his greatness. When we praise him, we invite his presence into our circumstances. It fortifies us." Sarah let those words sink in. The idea of worship as a defense against fear resonated deep within her soul. "So, worship isn't just a song or a prayer. It's a posture." Mary smiled, a glimmer of pride in her eyes. "Exactly. It's about positioning our hearts to receive his truth." As they continued, a beautiful bird flitted overhead, its song breaking the silence. In that moment, everything felt alive. Sarah gazed up, taking in the sight, and she realized something crucial. Creation sings praises everywhere. Can we be like that? She mused. Can we lift our voices and point others toward him through our own lives? Yes, Mary exclaimed, her face alight with enthusiasm. We can. Our faith stories can be the song that brings many to listen for his voice too. That's our calling. The air buzzed with energy at that thought. Sarah felt a holy urgency to act, to share their journey, and to lift others as they climbed. Each challenge would be a verse in the melody of faith, a testimony of hope and struggle intertwined into something beautiful. Yet deep within, a new shadow loomed. What if we falter along the way? Sarah asked, her heart thudding anxiously. Mary placed a hand on her shoulder, grounding her. Faltering doesn't mean failure. It means we're learning. God's grace covers our missteps. The key is to keep moving forward, even when we stumble. Taking a deep breath, Sarah felt the tension release. What if knowledge of grace could help her face the unknown? What if God took every stumble and transformed it, weaving their lives into a tapestry of grace? Let us commit to this journey, no matter how challenging it gets. Sarah stated, her voice firm, filled with resolve. With a shared prayer, they renewed their intentions, hearts blazing with hope and readiness. Together they stepped further into the wilderness, the horizon shimmering with possibility. What awaited them ahead? Could they uncover the hidden treasures in the trials? Would their faith become the bridge for others seeking divine connection? With every footstep, they moved closer to the heart of the adventure. The path wound ahead, speckled with light and shadows, each step pulling them deeper into the embrace of the forest. It felt as if the trees themselves were leaning in, expecting, listening to the unspoken prayers whispered between Sarah and Mary. Look, Sarah pointed to a patch of wildflowers, their vibrant colors bursting forth like a canvas of joy. Even here, nature is declaring his glory. Mary knelt to touch the petals, her fingers tracing delicate shapes. Just like our lives, these flowers bloom where they're planted. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They show us that beauty can emerge from any circumstance. With those words, Sarah felt a spark ignite within her. We can bloom too, can't we? Even in the trials we face, we can bear fruit. Yes. Mary's eyes lit up, reflecting the warmth of the sun. Our faith can create a garden in the midst of storms. But we must be willing to trust the gardener all the way. As they continued, the air shifted, becoming dense with stillness. The birds fell quiet, and even the breeze seemed to hold its breath. A rustle caught their attention, drawing their gazes toward a thicket up ahead. "What do you think that is?" Sarah whispered, her heart quickening. "Could be anything," Mary replied, her voice barely above a whisper. "But let us approach with reverence. God often shows up in unexpected ways." Each step felt like a sacred unveiling. As they neared the thicket, a soft glow began to emanate from within, bathing the surrounding foliage in a soft light that felt tangible, almost alive. "Do you see that?" Sarah gasped, awe filling her voice. "Yes. It's as if heaven is touching earth right here." With hearts pounding, they stepped closer, their curiosity intertwined with a holy anticipation. Suddenly, the glow intensified, and a figure emerged, a radiant being, bathed in light, eyes sparkling with love and wisdom. Their breath caught as they instinctively knelt. "Fear not, beloved ones," the being spoke, voice echoing like a gentle melody resonating in their souls. "You have sought me, and now I reveal to you the depths of the journey ahead." Sarah felt warmth cascade over her, flooding her heart with peace. "We've been wanting to understand our purpose. What is it truly?" The being smiled, the light shimmering around them. "Your purpose is not merely a destination, but a dance with the divine. Embrace the struggles, for they will teach you grace. Lean into the lessons hidden within each trial." Mary looked up, tears shimmering in her eyes. "How can we be light for others if we feel lost ourselves?" "By believing you are never alone," the being replied, the glow softening yet growing more intense. "Your vulnerability will draw others toward the light in you. Share your story, both the joys and the trials, so they may see him through you." The moment hung in the air, filled with divine energy, stretching time and reality. The girls exchanged a glance filled with wonder and understanding. They knew this moment was one they would carry forever. "But how do we carry this light?" Sarah asked, as if reaching for the answers hidden just beyond her grasp. The being took a step back, the light shifting, revealing paths extending in every direction. "Seek him with your whole heart. In the simplest acts of love and faith, you'll find the steps. Every journey begins with one faithful step into the unknown." As the figure began to fade, they felt an overwhelming sensation of warmth and encouragement enveloping them. The rays of light illuminated their path ahead, revealing fragmented images of what awaited them: mountains to climb, valleys to navigate, souls to rescue. Mary clenched her fists, determination sparking in her gaze. "We can do this, can't we?" "Yes," Sarah responded, feeling a surge of purpose. With him guiding us, the unknown turns into a panorama of possibilities. As the last traces of the radiant being slipped into the woods, Sarah and Mary stood awash in divine promise, hearts swelling with readiness. What would they discover on this sing-along journey of faith? Would they have the courage to share their reflections, to speak the truth of his goodness? As they took their first steps into the unknown, a whisper beckoned from the trees, inviting them to unveil their stories. With each step, the vibrant colors of the wildflowers faded behind them, transforming into a lush green tapestry that seemed to pulse with life. The forest felt alive, an extension of their own hearts. Sarah and Mary exchanged glances filled with determination, their spirits invigorated by the encounter with the radiant being. They were venturing deeper into the forest, deeper into their journey of faith. "This path is unfamiliar," Mary said, her voice barely a whisper, as if she feared breaking the enchantment surrounding them. "But it feels right." "Right where we need to be," Sarah agreed, her heart drumming a rhythm of excitement. "Let us keep moving forward, trusting that he guides us." Suddenly, a quiet rustle broke the tranquil silence. They turned to see a small creature peeking from behind a bush, an ordinary rabbit, yet somehow extraordinary in that moment. Its large, curious eyes glinted in the dappled light filtering through the leaves. "Look at that little one," Sarah said, kneeling down, as if the rabbit held a secret. "Even the smallest creature holds a purpose." Mary knelt beside her. "Yes, just like us. Sometimes we may feel insignificant, but every life matters in his creation." They watched as the rabbit hopped a few steps, pausing and looking back, as if inviting them to follow. Sarah felt a thrill run through her. "Shall we?" With renewed energy, they rose and followed the rabbit, who led them along the winding path through the trees. Each footstep felt lighter, each breath sweeter. As they meandered through the enchanting forest, the flutter of leaves and the whisper of the wind seemed to echo their silent encouragement. "Do you ever wonder what we'll find at the end of this path?" Mary asked, her voice filled with wonder. "Maybe it's less about what we'll find and more about who we'll become along the way," came the thoughtful reply. "Every step changes us, shapes us. We're being molded into something beautiful." As if responding to their conversation, rays of heavenly light pierced the canopy, illuminating the space around them. Caught in awe, they paused, the golden hues dancing like soft flames. "Look, it's like a divine spotlight," Mary exclaimed, her heart racing with joy. "It's his presence guiding us," Sarah whispered, feeling overwhelmed with gratitude. Then, as they moved deeper into this sanctified space, the rabbit darted away, almost as if sensing something profound about to unfold. They could barely take another step when a gentle voice filled the air, crisp yet warm. "Dear ones, your journey has only just begun, yet you carry the importance of all creation within you." The voice sang through the woods, echoing from the surroundings, each word cradled by the branches and leaves. "What do you mean?" Sarah asked softly, her heart echoing with curiosity. "The dance of life is a duet with the divine. Embrace your voice, share your song, and you will find that the world is listening. In every struggle, remember your value, each heartbeat, each tear. It's all part of the tapestry of his love." Tears glistened in Mary's eyes. "How do we share our song?" "By living with authenticity, sharing the light from your hearts," the voice encouraged, floating around them like a warm embrace. "In every act of kindness, joy, or struggle, you reveal him." With the last spoken words, a deep peace enveloped them. In that sacred moment, they realized sharing their story wasn't just for others. It was a way to exalt the journey he crafted for them. As they stood, invigorated, the light around them pulsed like breaths of life, beckoning them onward. What marvelous opportunities awaited just beyond the next bend. Determined and inspired, Sarah and Mary took an adventurous step forward, ready to delve into the next chapter of their adventure. Would they discover the stories hidden within them, waiting to break free and echo through the lives they touched? The air was buzzing with a sweet anticipation, an electric pulse resonating through the forest. Sarah and Mary walked hand in hand, every step rising like a prayer, a promise of something extraordinary just ahead. The words of the radiant being lingered in their spirits. There was purpose in their journey, every challenge a note in the symphony of their lives. As they ventured deeper, the trees parted to reveal a sparkling brook, its waters dancing joyfully over smooth stones. The sunlight broke through the branches, illuminating the scene as if heaven itself was looking down with approval. Sarah knelt by the water's edge, splashing coolness onto her face, feeling renewed, refreshed alive. "Look at how clear the water is," Mary exclaimed, her eyes sparkling. "It's so vibrant, so full of life. I think this is a reminder that we, too, can be vessels of his love." Absolutely, Sarah replied, watching her reflection ripple in the water. But we must also be willing to let go of our fears and doubts, to truly shine. In that moment, something deep within stirred. The brook became a metaphor for their souls, free to flow and nourish those around them with life-giving faith. "Let us take a moment to pray," Sarah said, her heart swelling with gratitude. Together they knelt by the stream, hands clasped. "Lord, we thank you for this beautiful day and the lessons unfolding before us," they spoke in unison. "Help us to share our stories, to flow with your grace as this water flows, nourishing and bringing life to those around us." As they finished, a gentle breeze whisked past, carrying away the burdens they had unwittingly clung to. The sense of divine presence enveloped them, deeper than any fear they could harbor. In the distance, they heard laughter, children playing, voices ringing through the woods. "Let us see what is happening," Mary exclaimed, a spark of adventure igniting between them. They made their way toward the sound, soon emerging into a sunny glade where a small gathering of villagers had formed. The scene was lively, radiant with laughter and joyous chatter. Hope filled the space like an infectious melody, the perfect environment for a fresh revelation. As they approached, a familiar face caught Sarah's eye. It was Liam, his laughter bubbling over as he played with other children, a picture of health and pure joy. Her heart soared, grateful to see the light of the boy who had once hung in the balance. Yet, as she looked around, she noticed more than just children. It was a community gathered, united by the spirit of hope. "Look at this community. It feels so alive," Sarah said, a grin breaking across her face. "They are celebrating," Mary added, eyes alight. "And we need to join them. This is exactly what we've been talking about, our lives intertwining, becoming part of something bigger than ourselves." With renewed determination, they stepped forward, joining a circle of laughter and song. Voices intertwined harmoniously, stories of faith, of trials and triumphs, all blending into one beautiful tapestry. The villagers began to share their own journeys, experiences rippling outwards like the brook, transforming lives with every shared moment. "Sarah," Liam ran up to her, bursting with glee. "Did you see the doves? They came back today." "Yes, my love." Sarah knelt down, tears of joy welled in her eyes. "God has sent them as a reminder of hope and miracles." The warmth of that moment enveloped her, binding their hearts closer. Every smile exchanged felt like a promise, a sealing of faith within this vibrant community. One by one, stories began to pour forth amidst the festivities. An elderly villager recounted life's challenges, weaving in how faith had brought healing. A young mother spoke of the darkness she overcame, shining a light on how God had been there, guiding her. Their words resonated, mingling like songs, creating a beautiful chorus of life and faith. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, painting the clouds in hues of orange and pink, a profound sense of peace washed over Sarah. She realized this was their moment, a culmination of all they had experienced. "Today is a reminder that we don't walk this path alone," she said, standing among the villagers. "Our trials are not just ours, they are part of his story, shaping us, molding us into who we were meant to be." Applause erupted, hearts ignited with the truth that they were all part of a larger tapestry. They were not just individuals, they were a community bound together by faith, destined to uplift and inspire one another in every season of life. As the celebration continued into the starry night, Sarah felt an overwhelming sense of mission ignite within her spirit. They would share their journey, their stories of trials and triumphs, allowing God to weave them into the narratives that would unfold. The night drew on, laughter echoing, and as the stars twinkled above, Sarah and Mary exchanged knowing glances. They were ready to embrace this dance with the divine, to seek, to grow, and to shine brightly for all to see. And in that vibrant moment of connection, a still, small voice whispered in Sarah's heart, "You will not only rise through the trials, but you will lead others to the light." With joyful hearts and unwavering faith, they stepped forward into the night, ready to be vessels of life, ready to embrace the calling beckoning them onward now. Dear friends, as you journey along with us, I urge you subscribe immediately to our channel to not miss the next exclusive faith stories that will inspire your heart and spirit. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to fuel the algorithm and share this message of hope far and wide. Comment below with your reactions and testimonies about this incredible ending. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation of faith. Only true servants of God understand the importance of supporting our channel through these actions. Together, let us illuminate the world with His love.